Hello and welcome to today's The Last Trade Week Ahead video. Now in today's The Last Trade Week Ahead video, we'll be taking a look at two stocks. I'll look at Canara Bank, for which we'll look at perspective of equity trader and FNO trader, after which we'll take a look at Ola Electric from the perspective of only an equity because it's not in the FNO section. But before we do all of that, let's take a quick look at the news to be affecting our markets this week. Now coming to the news front, I believe our markets, there are several factors which will affect us this coming week. The first being the Iran issue is starting to make a crop up back. I say this as Trump has once again started his rhetoric, and within the next 24 to 48 hours, it should be quite certain whether if an attack is going to resume or it's not going to. If it does resume, it naturally will affect our markets and the global markets badly. The second factor to be affecting our indexes and the broader markets will be the bond yields. This year the bond yields have been basically going haywire in the West, and that's naturally also going to start most likely happening in our markets and other Asian markets, which will affect all equities and cause quite a dampening effect on them. Third factor is over the weekend the Prime Minister has again put fresh curbs. Now this time he's gone after silver, and that naturally will affect a lot of firms. The silver is heavily used in productions of items from EVs to many other sectors, so that is going to heavily affect this whole dynamics. So this week we can expect these three news factors to play the largest role in determining what's going to be happening in our indexes and our broader markets. So that's related on the news front. Now let's take a look at, I'll start with Canara Bank, after which we'll go down to Ola Electric. Now when we go to Canara Bank, let me put the levels on. Now Canara Bank has basically been trading in sort of a downward spiral, and if you watch my last video on it, which I had done by a short rather than a long video, I had given a target of 128.5. we met it and we have fallen to it. Now what is my new trading plan for Canara Bank for the coming sessions? Now my new trading plan for Canara Bank basically evolves between the support of 126.5 and 134. Why I say that is, I believe this is a box range which Canara Bank is going to follow. If it breaks out of this range, then you get a bigger trade. Now I've highlighted 124 and 118 supports in a jagged manner, and 137 and 141.5 resistance in a solid line. The reason is being that if I believe if it breaks 126.5, the next support will be 124, but it's not that strong. So if a bit of force comes, it will break through and go towards 118. On the other hand, if it tries to break 134, there is a very strong resistance at 137 and very strong at 141.5. So what I mean, it's going to struggle to go above these two, but to break this, it's going to be pretty easy. So my view on Canara Bank is more biased towards the downside. Canara Bank has performed better as a share than a lot of others. Whether we look at HDFC, we look at ICICI, SBI and all. But I think now its number is coming up also, and it's going to start having its gradual issues as it goes along in the coming trading session. So my view on Canara Bank is I am bearish on it, but as long as it's between 126.5 and 134, I will not put a trade. Once it breaks out of this range, that's when I'll put a trade, but I'm more likely looking for downside moves rather than upside moves in Canara Bank. Next we'll take a look at Ola Electric. Now when we take a look at Ola's share price has been in a perpetual decline. However, the last few weeks when the whole market was doing badly, Ola was doing pretty well, as it had after very long a bounce, which took it basically from around $22 to around 40, which was a very good rise. But now Ola after that has entered a box range, and now my view on Ola is now going to be heavily dependent also on what's happening on the local front. What I mean is, by the number one, Ola is going to be affected this coming week by the silver thing, as silver is used pretty heavily in EV production, and a lot of the curbs which are coming across the country on gold, on silver, on there's generally a sense of doom and gloom. So all that will affect something like Ola's sales and all. So due to that, I believe the share price now is going to be getting a bit of readjustment. But coming to the chart, my technical plan with Ola is I'm not going to look for longs at this point, and shorts naturally you cannot do positional shorting in Ola as you saw in the futures market. Now, as long as Ola is between 38.93 and 33.44, this is a stock that is not going to go anywhere. It has to pop out of this zone for either to go to 41.94 or to go down to 30 and 28. But due to what is happening, I believe there's a higher likelihood of Ola breaking 33.4 and going to 30 and 28. If it breaks these two, it goes to 24.3. So what I'm meaning is that Ola right now has been put in a lot of, I would say, trouble by the new laws and everything that's coming. And it's looking more likely that it's going to be testing at least 30 rupees in the coming sessions before it can think of going above. But as I said, between this zone, I'm not going to trade Ola. I'm only going to wait for it. If I have to go long in Ola, it has to break this for a target of this, and then it can go upwards. If I have to look at it only basically from a bearish perspective, then it has to break this to go to 30 and 28. Once it reaches these supports, then again it can be looked at from a value perspective of whether you can get another bounce like it gave here, because Ola has had a pretty rough time in the past, and I think that rough time is about to also start again. So that's it for my view on Ola Electric and on Canara Bank. If you liked the video, then hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.